tell us, where do we stand? Are you the next TV voice of the Boston Celtics?
Well, I think I don't want to wet blanket anything. I'll say to you what I'm going to be saying to everybody and what I've been saying to everybody, which is I really think this year should be about Mike. I think this is Mike's last go. This is Mike's last run. He's been here for 40 years, and I think that's what this year should be about. Obviously, as you know, I don't want to get into all the inside baseball nonsense. There's complication that is created when Mike misses games, and then I slide here, and then John Wallach, who's on with Toucher and Rich on 98.5. All of it is it's a complication. So to me, the whole thing has been about 2024. Mike, sort of made his announcement. For those of us on the inside, I don't think anybody was surprised. It's sort of what we've been expecting for several years, that it was going to be 2024. So to me, it's a 2024 question. I think you guys know, as everybody knows, how much I've enjoyed the last couple of years. Particularly last season was my favorite year of the 22 I've done with the Celtics, and maybe my 25 in the NBA. Last year was my personal favorite because I got to do both. I got to work on both sides, and I got to be with Scal and with Eddie House and with Abby and with Paul Lucy and Jim Edmonds, who are two names behind the scenes who you don't know, but they've affected your life as Celtics fans far more than you realize, because they've been the producer and director of the television side for a quarter century. And then I was able to slide over and keep the thing going with Max, as you and I, as the three of us have discussed. What made last year kind of fun was Max and I were a little fresher together because we weren't doing all 82. So I do a couple of games on TV and then come back, and it was a little more special. Plus, again, as we've discussed, the other side of this is NBA television. You're not doing the best games in the regular season, and you're not doing the playoffs. So therein lies, to me, that's why last year was awesome too, because when it was done and we filled the gap on the TV side, and I think it created, I guess the point is that it created different radio broadcasts, different energy there. And as I think the number one piece of feedback I got last year was how it was a different energy on the TV side. And that was great too. It just was sort of an influx, and it was almost to me, it was like the perfect scenario. So what happens in 2024 happens in 2024. But I think what we learned last year is what we've known all along, which is that we're just one big team. And I think all of us, all the names I just mentioned, Max included, we're all interchangeable and could all plug in anywhere.
CLNS Media Network is powered by Fanduel Sportsbook. Visit fanduel.com/Boston and start earning bonus bets when you bet on a Super Bowl winner. You can get bonus bets every time they win in the regular season.
To your point, as far as like the whole Celtics beat on the forefront thing, and obviously it's kind of a joke, but with Mike Gorman, I mean, he said 2 years ago what his timeline was going to be on this podcast before it started. So he has been, to your, as you said, like he's been pretty upfront about what he's been thinking over these years, and it's played out here to him making that announcement with NBC Sports Boston, really The Athletic before that. I guess asking you to forecast how you think it plays out. And I'm not talking about who does what. I'm talking about, do you think the desire is we're going to have one TV voice, we're going to have one radio voice, versus what it's been the last couple of years where, as you said, schedules have, caused you to do this or Wallach to slide in here and so on and so forth?
I don't know. It's really too early to know. There's a lot of different things that we've got to decide. All of us have to decide what we want to have happen. What everybody's long-term future is on both sides. I think that, as you know, as I've said, I'm not trying to tip my hand other than saying not just the significant games are important to me. The other thing is, and I can announce, you want some breaking news, I can announce that Max has officially signed his contract. So he is back, for multiple years.
Excellent.
And you don't necessarily want to break up, Max and I are a thing. Mm-hmm. Right. So I'm not trying to put you off other than to say, why not enjoy, if we have the best case scenario for this year, which is a lot of some variety, let's enjoy that, because here's what we do know. This will be the last year you're going to have Mike in the mix. Hopefully not. Listen, do I hope he changes his mind and does Homegate does whatever he wants to do forever? Yeah, I do. I'm all for like, hey, 4 more years. But Mike gets to do whatever he wants to do after the number of years that he's put in. So for now, let's enjoy this year and let's enjoy, I think you guys know what my goal is, which is for the Celtics, the Boston Celtics, the most storied franchise in NBA history, to have the best broadcast, whether it be on the radio side or the TV side. And I'm going to try to do my part to make sure that happens no matter which chair I'm sitting in on or wearing makeup or not on any given night. So that's the plan. And when we get to 2024, we'll see where we go from there. It's a long time in the world. Like I know it's what everybody does. What's going to happen when this happens? Why not say, if this really is going to be Mike's last year, let's enjoy it for what it is.
So you blew it. That's normally when you give us the I serve at the pleasure of the president of the Boston Celtics.
And that is the answer, because you're asking me what I want to do. And I think I've made it pretty clear to everybody that the perfect scenario for me and what probably is best for the team in a lot of ways is that I do both. I do as much as I can. Like you want me, people seem to want me on the TV side, and that's great. But do you want Max and I doing the playoff games and the big games in the regular season? I've run this for you guys, I think, before, but it always underscores it to me. There was a period of, I want to say it was 5 or 6 years, that Mike and Tommy back then did not do a single game against LeBron James. Now, let that sink in for a second.
Yeah, it's wild.
Because you introduced me, because I know you love to stick in the word long time, right? And I get it. I'm fine with it. I've leaned into it. I have an 11-year-old son who reminds me every day how old I am, and I get it. But being the voice of the Celtics means being the voice of the Celtics. And are you the voice of the Celtics if you're not doing all the good games and the playoffs? I don't know. We'll deal with all this. This is why I usually start and end with, I serve at the pleasure of the president of the Boston Celtics, because whatever they want me to do is what I'm sure I'm going to end up doing. So when I say I serve, it's true. I serve the team. I serve the fans of the team. And wherever anybody wants me, that's where I'm going to go.
CLNS Media Network is powered by Fanduel Sportsbook. Visit fanduel.com/Boston and start earning bonus bets when you bet on a Super Bowl winner. You can get bonus bets every time they win in the regular season.